Yes, my beautiful people, what is going on? I hope you guys are well, healthy, doing your best, and most importantly, enjoying life to the fullest. And I hope you are grinding for the season that is about to embark on us. So with all that being said, warlocks arc could be the new meta next season. I'm going to tell you why. This forgotten exotic is getting a total rework, and I believe it is going to be stronger than it's ever been. I'm so hyped because I love the concept of this exotic, but the rework sounds too good to be true. And not only that, there's two subclasses that we can take massive advantage. The one that I'm using at the moment in this gameplay, I'm using it with Stasis. As you can see, we're freezing everything and we are sending arc shockwaves and just shattering them to pieces, and we can get the cold snap grenades to follow on, and we follow the gameplay that way, or we can use it on the arc subclass. And with a rework, this is gonna be a monster. So all my warlock mains, stand up. You already know this is gonna be insane. So the exotic I'm talking about, Vesper of Radius. This is how it is going to work come season of the deep. Your rifts emit an arc shockwave every 5 seconds that deals 200 in PvE and 70 in PvP. Enemies defeated by these shockwaves explode for an additional 100 damage. If you have an arc subclass equipped, get this, it blinds enemies. This is going to be mental. Like, I cannot wait to actually try it out. So just to get you used to this build, I thought we'd throw a quick build together that you can use to farm the rest of your bounties and all that good stuff before the new season arrives. But I do think this is going to be the first build that I cover on the channel when Season of the Deep drops. So take a look at the subclass, the mods, the fragments, the aspects with Stasis, and then we'll show you how it would look with art as well. Let's get it. Alright guys, so I just quickly want to cover some of the possibilities with Vesper Radius. This is it right now. The ornament that I've got is quite nice. So Vesper Radius, it basically releases an arc shockwave when you cast it, and your rift energy recharges faster when you're surrounded. Personally, Shadebinder is going to be phenomenal with these two aspects equipped. Gospels, when you throw down your rift, it freezes your enemies, and then with a Vesper Radius kicking in, it then shockwaves your enemies with arc, and then it will shatter your enemies, and then ice flare bolts will kick in, and a seeker will go to the next enemy, and you can carry on the chain of freezing and shattering, which then plays into your fragments, especially with Whisper of Refraction. Defeating a slowed or frozen target grants class ability energy. So with Whisper of Refraction and Vesper Radius working together, you have an unlimited source of rifts, and then you can take advantage of Whisper of Fissures, making the Stasis crystals deal more damage, and then Whisper Endurance for the extra slow effects, and then Whisper of Chains. If you want, you could swap it out for Whisper of Rending for the extra damage buff, but I was just running a few activities with Stasis and I thought it works so well. So with art being the topic of conversation for season 21, it's only right that we cover what the Stormcaller can actually do with the Vesper Radius as well. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Stasis and Arc with the Vesper Radius. Arc for your ability regen and jolting everything as it does, and some of the artifact mods that we're going to be getting look very potent and are going to pair so well with Vesper Radius. So I think your aspects are really going to stay the same. Electrostatic Mine, defeating targets with arc abilities, defeating jolted or blinding targets creates ionic traces. Not to mention with the Vesper Radius, the rework, when you are on a arc subclass, it will blind your enemies as well. So you're going to be getting increased traces from that as well. And then obviously we're going to be using Arc Soul. This had a 60% damage buff inside a PvE, so it only makes sense that we keep that supercharged Arc Soul for extra damage. So when we think about fragments, it's going to be like flex slots, totally open book. I mean, there's so much you can do with Arc already, but I think with Arc it's more ability based, so it's just going to be about jolting enemies, collecting your traces and keeping that ability loop going. But with a Vesper of Radius, it just offers a little bit more when you're throwing your rift down. gives you a little bit more excitement, should I say. But obviously there's going to be tons of ionic traces flying about, especially with that spark of discharge. If you have an arc weapon with voltshot, which we'll go over in a second, a few that I'm going to be using, this can play a massive part in collecting traces, jolting, stunning champions and all that good stuff. So a few weapons that you can use, obviously you're going to be wanting weapons with voltshot because it plays perfectly with the arc subclass, giving you traces back with spark of discharge and all that. So a weapon that I like to use and I think will be absolutely amazing next season is a path of least resistance. Anything shoot to loot in there would be perfect, but voltshot, it will just melt everything, and it does melt everything, especially when you put surge mods and all that good stuff. So any kind of weapons that jolt your enemies are going to be amazing. This one you can farm for doing the battlegrounds, a really decent grenade launcher. You can cash your engrams in before the end of the season anyway and try and get yourself one with voltshot, which is going to be top tier next season. And then we have the Brigand's Law. This is good this season. Obviously we have barrier sidearms, but next season they're going to be still as powerful. You can get one with voltshot. I think this was the one from last season from the season pass, but like I said, anything with voltshot is going to be absolutely top tier with this build. So yeah, there are my thoughts on the Vesper radius for next season. I do think it's going to be a top tier exotic. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm Cream Slice. Thank you for your continued support. You already know I love you all. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the season 21. Peace.